Welcome to Gaming Fin, your channel for everything related to the gaming industry and the financial markets. And my friends, today we talk about the Nintendo stock. Nintendo shares are trading at the moment in Tokyo in Japan at 6,196 Japanese yen. So I think there's a lot of important elements, if it's interesting for me personally to invest in Nintendo, that I'm going to clarify here in this video. So also, my friends, comment, like, and subscribe, of course, and also check out my respective Twitter account where I already wrote an analysis about Nintendo. And before we jump into Nintendo, also have to tell you that I sold, or that now I didn't sell, but Activision Blizzard has been bought now by Microsoft. And as you can see here, this is my real gaming portfolio. This is of course not my overall stock market portfolio, but my gaming portfolio that now that I get 80% roundabout, so $6,000 so on my bank account. So thank you, Microsoft, for this. It was a pleasure. So let's move on, guys. Look, this is the 5-year chart, and in the 5-year chart, you see we are up 62%. So, and if we go on the max chart, you see we are almost at the all-time high back in 2007, so before the financial crisis. So I mean, this must have been crazy for Japanese stocks, 500% from 2005 to 2007. So after this, it was a long time down. So this was like 4 years after financial crisis, nothing happened, more or less. So really nothing happened, 2%. And then in 2015, Japanese stocks are moving up again. So I always, and that's important for me. I think it's always important to compare directly to the United States dollar, the US dollar to the Japanese yen, and we can see also that the Japanese yen was getting cheaper since 2012, for example. So now it's kind of at an all-time high. Cheapness of the Japanese yen. So this also plays a role when you then look at Japanese stocks, and you are seeing the Japanese stocks are actually had a nice run up. So let's go back to Nintendo, my friend. So overall, you would say, hey, that's very interesting. So it might go even higher. So I'm not buying on the top. So that's one of my most important rules. I'm always trying to buy when they're going down and when I can average down. So for example, in this case, and guys, this is not financial advice. I'm just YouTuber retail investor. So make your own research, because probably you would have bought it here and then sold it there. Now let's go back. So are we going to be at the 2021 again? So at the moment, I'm not so sure about this. So, but this is now just technical point. So I would say I'm interested now in buying Nintendo. So let's put this like that. Because now, since Activision has been sold, so I'm looking for some new gaming companies, and Nintendo is one of the big ones, one of the old ones, guys. So, and I mean, the overall chart looks not too bad. But so I would be interested actually to open a little position around about 5,000 yen, and then I would even buy more, averaging down when I could imagine that we even go back to the 3,000 yen. Now you say, yeah, why not buying then at the 3,000 yen when you're sure that they're going to be back at 3,000 yen? I'm not sure about this, so that's the whole problem, my friends. And then we see PE ratio at the moment 14.58, and we have a dividend yield of 3%. So in this regard, I think the stock is kind of interesting. So what I also wanted to do, I wanted to compare the stock with Capcom, Bandai, and SquareEnix. Here you see, now we make a little comparison. So the best stock, the stock that was running the last 5 years, the best one is Capcom with over 300%, SquareEnix only 20%. So I'm invested in SquareEnix, not invested in Capcom, because I always thought like Capcom might come back. And then we have Bandai Namco. I'm also invested, so 114%, Nintendo 62%. So over the last 5 years, my friends, actually over the last 5 years, it would have been more interesting to invest in Bandai or Capcom, and if you would have invested in Square Enix, so over the max time, so over the last, then you would be in the minus. So also I wanted to give you a very short overview over the income statement, because that's important. So I think the numbers are not too bad, my friend. So we have actually, so from 2022 to 2023, the annual income statement, we are around about 10% down. So this makes sense. So let's click this away. This makes sense why the stock is performing like it's performing now. But overall, we still have a positive net income. That's important. So also, if you compare it with other gaming companies, and the revenue was falling since 2021, it was falling a bit, the revenue. And then you see, but you see, there is a possibility that the revenue actually goes up again. And the biggest possibility I see for this is, in my opinion, my friends, when Switch 2 is coming out. So now we have to ask ourselves, so when is the Switch 2 coming out? So guys, I cannot tell you. I mean, if you ask Google, it says could see September 24, 2020. In September 24. This September, the new Switch would come out. Then you have a lot of articles, Nintendo Switch 2, every single thing we know so far. So, for example, about the power, about the graphics, so ray tracing, 12 gigabyte of RAM. So, yeah, of course, I would suppose the Nintendo Switch is going to have this. So, very important if the Nintendo Switch comes out. So, if it comes out, then I think this would be a new momentum for Nintendo. So then we definitely would have a chance to even go higher. But before we go high, I think it's a bigger probability we go back to the 5,000 yen. It's simply a game of probabilities. I mean, investing is a game of probabilities. Also, what I wanted to show you, what I thought is very interesting, we see here the Nintendo Switch. The first one had 129 million units sold. Nintendo 3DS had 75 million units sold, and the Wii U, the Wii U was the biggest flop with 13 million units only, and the Wii was a huge success. So the Wii U was such a success, they made the Wii U, and then they actually were disappointed. Nintendo really sucked at this point, and then they came up with the creative or innovative idea of Switch. And with Nintendo, it's always like this. So if you look at the hardware, they always have something special. So maybe the Nintendo GameCube was the least special from the innovation point of view. And the Nintendo 64, one of my favorite consoles, 37 million units sold. So, but hey, is this Nintendo Switch just going to be a Nintendo Switch 2, the next Nintendo Switch, or is it a completely new game, maybe something with VR? So guys, we don't know this yet. So also I thought it's important or interesting to see which one are the Nintendo Switch the most sold games. And then we see Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I also have this for the Nintendo Switch. So, and then Animal Crossings and Super Smash Bros., Legend of Zelda, Super Mario Odyssey. So you see Nintendo games are ruling. So it's the exclusive games, the Nintendo games that are ruling. So that's the reason why people buy a Nintendo Switch. So you not necessarily buy it to play other third-party games. So that's important to mention, my friend. So all right, so I would say that's more or less all I wanted to tell you. So we have to see if the Nintendo Switch 2 is going to be announced, if another console is going to be announced. So this could have a huge impact, I think, also on the stock price. Then of course we have to keep the macroeconomic environment in account, and we also have to take into consideration that we see some sort of a gaming market industry crash. So here you can see next big wave of video game layoffs is here. Every video game company layoffs announcement, and there's an interesting page, videogamelayoffs.com. You see where so many jobs have been already cut off. So it's like crazy. So we are in the middle of this gaming industry crash, where a lot of companies have to lay off, have to license, have to kick out people. So it's sad, it's terrible, but I would say also there are some chances for buying some stocks maybe a little bit cheaper. And then of course this is important here. So is this going to continue? I mean, 44% was the dollar getting more valuable with regards to the yen, or the yen was getting weaker with regards to the dollar. So is this going to continue? I mean, that's also crazy, guys. So honestly, that's also crazy. Okay, with that, I'm leaving it here. See you next time. Bye bye.